I would say anybody that has an idea that would like to do some kind of a function, to not be scared to contact the city. They're easy to work with, and they will help you. They will help back you. It's hard to explain. You think it's going to be really hard when you go, but it's just super easy to deal with. The people there are good, and they're very helpful to us. So I would say if you have an idea, you want to put together something like this, go talk to them. It's easy. It's easy. The Knights Car Club was formed 30 years ago by a very dear friend of mine who's now passed, Richard Wright, and his brother Jimmy, and the owner of the Brown Derby Drive-In here in Shawnee, Johnny Kneisel. And the club at one time was a very big club, well over 200 members. And we have a few of the old club members here today showing some of their old cars from way back when. And the reason I'm in the Knights Car Club is because, one, I've always liked cars. Ever since I was a kid, I've worked on cars, built cars. And also, it's something, we help the community in some ways. We have charities we give to, and I just like the camaraderie of the other people in the club and things like that. The first show the Knights did was actually in Kmart parking lot here in Shawnee, and it had about 25, 30 cars. Over the years, it was in different parking lots, and then finally we got up the nerve to ask the city, hey, could we use the park? And of course they graciously said yes, and that has caused the show to grow from 25 to 50 cars to now 200 cars to 300 cars, and it's because we have a beautiful park, and the city helps us, and advertising too. It's easier to advertise now. So, but there are a lot more shows now than there were then, so we still have a really good draw. And I have to say, part of it, I believe, is just this town, this area. Our show draws people from long ways. We have people here today from Crescent, Bristow. I believe we have one from Amarillo. And it's because our show's been going on for so many years, 30 years. And Shawnee is a beautiful place. They have beautiful parks where we hold the shows. And it's just, we have a lot of very good sponsors here around Shawnee that give good gifts and stuff for us to give away. And the city supports our show, so we get a lot of help through all of that, and that makes our show a good show, and it draws people. You know. Our show draws between 150, 250 entries each year. We average about 200. Today we're well over 200, and looks like we're going to have even more because it's still early. We have had at one time, there have been one show we had over 300 entries. Shawnee is kind of a centrally located place. There are a lot of shows going on every weekend, but this show seems to draw, and I think it's because of the beautiful spot we have to put it in, and then, you know, Shawnee's just a good place, and getting the city to help us really is it's not too hard. We basically just ask permission, and we do it early so that we can get the park for the weekend. And of course we have to fill out paperwork, and we also have to get a fire permit from the fire department here in Shawnee, and they make sure that we keep the lanes open for emergency egress and things in case we have a problem. And but we don't have to work with the city too hard because they're so open and help us. It's a very easy process, and just basically asking. As a matter of fact, when we held it in Woodland Park, they were always real good about having the park ready and stuff. And then when we started doing the pool renovation and things, it kind of messed that park up for the show. So we called and asked if we could move it to Boy Scout Park, and they said yes. And since we've moved here, and Mr. James Bryce has been very instrumental. He's a great guy. He's worked with us. They've done so much work on this park, And well, you can take a look around today. It's just beautiful. They've done a marvelous job mowing and leveling dirt and just picking up tree limbs and no trash. It's just beautiful. They help us a lot. People like old cars for different reasons, I think. I enjoy the simplicity of the older cars. They're easy to work on, and it's a nostalgia thing. You know, we like to go back to our childhood and early years. So old cars is just part of that. I remember years ago having an old hot rod. It was my daily car. That's what I drove to work, and my wife and I going to the drive-in and going to the A&W or the Sonic or the Brown Derby. And so the Knights have been around a long time, and like I said, it's basically just the camaraderie, being around other people that like cars and helping each other. That's what we do. In the early years, it was kind of funny because none of the guys had really had a car club before, so they would actually enter the club cars in the show. And for a couple of years, those guys won trophies, and that wasn't too good. So now our club cars are we just host, and we just have them here on display. They're not in the show. Nobody in the club's eligible for any prizes or anything. And I do remember Richard saying that they had several people that were just really adamant, very mad over that, you know, and I can understand that.